Hey everyone, I'm David Kassan and I've been a full-time artist now for over 25 years. But if I could go back and talk to my younger self, right at the start of my art career, there's definitely a few things I'd like to say. Not so much about technique or materials, but more about mindset, the kind of advice that would have made learning easier for me or helped me navigate the ups and downs that come with this journey. Today I'm sharing 5 pieces of advice that I wish I knew back then. Because sometimes it's not about how you paint, but how you think as an artist. So let's dive in, starting with the first piece of advice that I would share with my younger self. So, first thing I would bring up would be this idea of blocks, turning blocks into motivation. So, what does that mean? So, when I was younger, I would work really hard on getting into shows and I'd be rejected a lot. And so, I made those shows motivation for me to try to get better to get into those exhibitions. Same with galleries. I would try to, I'd go to galleries and show them my work. They would give me advice and critiques and everything, and I would take that to heart and go back and really work on that. So I think that early on in my career, I didn't really think of these blocks as motivation, but they just kind of happened, right? So I definitely think that having that idea of conceptually thinking that something that's in your way can actually put that block that's in front of you and you put that behind you and use that as something that pushes you. So it's just a kind of a thought exercise as a way to have those things that you think are in your way, put them behind you and have them push you for motivation. Number 2 would be to never speak poorly of yourself to other people or your art. Now, I'm very self deprecating in how I talk about my art a lot of times, mostly to friends. I remember when I was at the National Academy of Design and I was learning how to paint for the first time, and I was in a classroom with all these people that lived on Madison Avenue, and they were very wealthy and big art collectors and everything. And at that time, I was I didn't have a lot of money. I kind of lived literally on unemployment insurance that I'd gotten after losing my job after 9/11. And so I was using that money to go and train myself to become a better painter. So just really kind of not down on my luck, but because I was taking time to really develop my skills as an artist. But at that time, I was like, oh, I kind of felt that if someone saw that I was kind of in need, that they would want to help out. But I was totally wrong. I found out that when I kind of presented myself as more of a self confident winner, I guess, with my art and more confidence with what I was doing and how I was portraying what I was doing, people wanted to get behind that. They didn't want to support somebody that was kind of down on their luck. They wanted to support a winner. So I found out that once I kind of changed that mindset when I was younger, that I started to sell a lot more paintings. People wanted to get behind me. They wanted to kind of get in on the success that I was having. So definitely lead with your self confidence, even if it's hard, because I know as artists, we are always kind of, again, self deprecating, tearing ourselves down as an artist to be able to get better. But how you present yourself to other people is never speak negatively of what you're doing or how you're doing or what's going on in the studio. Kind of always have this kind of, even if it's a facade um, of success, right? Collectors want to be part of someone that is successful. And I know that's easier said than done. So, a really hard truth that I would like to tell my younger self is that really the art world really owes you nothing, unfortunately. No matter how talented you are, you really just need to figure out ways to make things happen. And I'll say to my younger self that you do figure it out. You know, I think that because we love what we do, we figure and you get praise from everybody all the time. The negative comments are definitely louder than the positive ones that we get. However, we feel like maybe we're so good that we can't that oh the art world owes me something, and unfortunately we kind of all have this kind of chip on our shoulder. I think if we don't really come from money, and we try to make it as a painter, that unfortunately we do need to really work hard, and the art world unfortunately owes us nothing, and that's kind of a hard truth I wanted to tell my younger self. So number 4 is I would tell my younger self to really, instead of being locked away in my studio all the time, uh, go out, build community. Luckily, my younger self did that a little bit with meeting artist friends that I really enjoyed their work and kind of getting to know them. if you travel and you know that someone lives in that town, go meet them, but really build community when you can. And also just lift other people up, lift up other artists that you admire. um, I always have this term, the rising tide lifts all boats. I think kind of live that as a mantra in a way that if someone is successful, it doesn't mean that there's less success out there for you. I think there's a idea that within artists we have this kind of idea of scarcity theory. Scarcity theory is that yes, if someone has success or someone sells a painting to a collector, that collector has less money to buy your work, or there's less exhibitions for you to have, or they stole the spot. There's the world is abundant, right? So the art world is abundant. So kind of come at it from the mindset of you just want to be positive and really push the entire realm of what we do as artists with everybody. So on my Instagram about 2 years ago, I was like, kind of tired of just posting my own art. And I wanted to share the feed that I was getting from people's studios and paintings that really inspired me, and just started really posting in my stories about other artists and what they do, so that people kind of almost get a full round view of what I like, what I enjoy, what my tastes are as an artist. And it's just really amazing. My wife and I have been able to curate exhibitions with painters that we really enjoy. We're very, very fortunate, and building this community is something that I wish I would have done earlier as a painter. I think I was too isolated a lot when I was younger. And so definitely advice that I would have told my younger self. So number 5, I would tell my younger self to really stay true to your vision. I think that as artists, we kind of force what it is we're trying to say. And in that case, I've done some real cringy paintings. And I think that if, as we get older, our tastes become more mature in what we enjoy within painting and what we don't enjoy. Sometimes I think that I love so many different types of art. I love abstraction. I love sculpture. I love landscape painting. I love figurative painting. I love so many different things. It's hard to kind of stay focused on what it is I want to do and create in the studio. But my tastes have become more refined as to what those pieces that I like and why I like them. Just loving art on a different level as I did when I was younger. And so the idea is just stay true to yourself, stay true to your individual temperament. You're going to find your own path by just, again, kind of keeping be a little bit stubborn in what it is that you like and what you don't like. Only a little bit though. Leave open areas of painting that you might not love, but be exposed to it. I think that's really important. I think of myself as when I first started getting into oil painting, um, getting so into technical stuff, to be able to have your vision that's in your head come through is really important. But I think that also don't lose that naivete that we had when we first fell in love with painting. For me, going to the museums in Philadelphia as a 14, 15-year-old kid, seeing paintings I love just because of color, just because of texture, just because of the design. It wasn't about how the ear on a painting was formed or painted exactly or perfect. It was about just kind of this falling in love with art in a very irrational way. And I always want to kind of get that sense of painting back for myself. So I love things that are sometimes irrational for a representational painter. But I think that also helps me to become, again, my individual self. And so for myself, I think I would have loved to have embraced that idea of going back to where I was when I was 14, 15 years old, going through museums. I would have loved to have done that a lot earlier as well. And so that was 5. I have a bonus for you guys though. And I think my bonus advice that I'd give to my younger self is really to embrace your insecurities, right? So what does that mean? So I'm very insecure at drawing, I feel, even though I've spent a lot of time getting better at it. And I think I've gotten better because of the insecurity within my drawing. Same with painting. So I tend to tackle things that I'm really bad at, so that I get better at them. I used to be really bad at painting hands. And so I took a year where I just studied how hands work and painting hands. And now I feel that hands are actually a strength of mine when I paint them. Same with like eyes. I'm like, I got to get better at eyes. I want to turn that into a strength. And so you're constantly using your insecurity within different things to kind of make everything that you're doing more understood. And so you're basically lifting up all aspects of what it is that you're painting and how you paint to make them into strengths rather than weaknesses. Embracing my insecurities as a painter, also my failures as a painter, have really made me who I am. So that's the 5 plus a bonus of advice that I would give myself as a younger artist. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. Take care. I'll see you at the next one. Hope you guys paint well. Cheers.